Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Kakodash.
Double honors to our leaders, the apostles and great millstones. Shalom to those who are elect.
Double honors to y'all, man, for doing this work. Y'all get honors
Yes,
right
sir.
back. You giving y'all double honors.
Yes, sir.
Along with Brother Lakamah, Brother Mayim, we had to will Yahweh Shah. We're going to bring out Revelation 13 chapter. Lord willing, this is another one.
This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea.
So this is the Apostle John speaking a vision.
Speak a little louder so you can pick up everything.
Right, so this is the Apostle John speaking. He was given a vision of how Esau Edom, so-called white man, came into power through particular rulerships. And he said he saw a beast that rise up out of the sea. We go into the word beast, the Greek word is devion, which means ferocious, bestial man, savage. We know Esau Edom to be a savage and violent man. His characteristics is he's known as a cunning hunter. He's someone who's cunning, they are skillful to deceit, they're devious, and he's a hunter. A hunter is a predator. He preys upon the Israelites, which are us, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And the sea represents people. We read about that in Revelation 17 chapter.
This is Revelation chapter 17, verse 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth,
Now the whore is Babylon the Great, which is America.
are peoples, multitudes, and nations and tongues.
All right, so the sea represents the people that Esau Edom has dominion over.
This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Now the 7 heads represents the ancient Greeks, the Romans, the Spanish, the Britain, the Germana Minor, Germana Major. These are the 7 heads, which are now one more. Okay. Oh, Slovakia. The Greeks, the Romans, the French, the Spanish, the Britons, Germana Minor, and Germana Major, which are now represents the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization was created in 1949 by America, Canada, and Western European nations. It was created to provide security against the USSR, which was Russian and Eastern European nations.
That's right. It says, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Now the 10 horns were the Alamanis, the Anglo-Saxons, the Franks, the Rulis, the Burgundians, the Lombards, the Sueves, the Ostrogoths, the Vandals, and the Visigoths.
Right.
Which
I
are
see
now
why you I see why you said that. I don't even remember that.
Yeah, right.
Hey, well, okay, good.
Yeah.
Slick, you slick brother. I'm having fun with you, man.
Yeah.
Hey, but now, so now was talking about the ancient gentlemen.
Yep.
What is it talking about now?
the European Unions, which are now 28 nations.
There you go.
And they are vassal states. Etymology for the word vassal means one who stands under or subordinate, which means lower ranking. So the EU are lower ranking nations under the NATO.
So what are the 3 classifications of like rulership in the world? You're either one of these things. That applies to us, that applies to everybody, the Rothschild. You're either one of these 3 things. When you said vassals, there was 2. You said vassals. That's the middle one. Vassals is the middle one. What's the one over the vassals and what's the one under the vassals? You don't know? You don't know? No. You don't have to know.
One under the vessels itself.
There you go. I got that, sir. What's the ones over the vassals? Come on now.
Elites.
That's right, but on a different word.
Royals.
That's a good one too. That's another one.
Aristocrat.
That's another one. Come on now. Overlords. Overlords. When you go back to the ancient world, they had overlords. They had vassals, which were middle class, and then they had the serfs, which are the lowest of the people. That's the three classes. Feudal society. Which is a feudal society. We're living in a feudal society. What does the word feudal mean? What does the word feudal mean? Feudal. 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 Feudal.
Like feudal, not fruit.
Feudal. What does feudalism? What does the word feudal mean? It means fees.
Fees, yeah.
What's another word for fee? Taxes.
I thought that was fruit.
Feudal summarized. It was a system of lords. Every system is the same thing, although they change the names up, oh, it's a democracy and this. It all goes back to the same three: overlords, vassals, and servants. Matter of fact, do me a favor, look up the word vassal. So I'm taking away your glory, son. I'm gonna give it back to you. Get down, give him a hand. So far, he gets down. We got to outdo these IUIC guys.
You want the Merriam-Webster dictionary?
Whatever you want. Whatever you want.
It says the word for vassal, vassal is a person under the protection of a feudal lord to whom he has vowed homage and fealty. A feudal tenant, one in subservient or subordinate position.
Now, beautiful. So how is it applied today? When you join the military, you got to take an oath, right? Who are you taking the oath to? You're really taking the oath to the overlords. Right. Is there anything else?
That was just on that.
Okay, then look up the word serfs.
I got it. It's a slave.
Yeah, but look it up. Look it up.
I got the etymology.
Go ahead.
Vassal.
You know now.
Vassals, it says a surname meaning tenant who pledges fealty to a lord. It says subordinate, servant, manservant, domestic, retainer, servant. This basically says that.
Okay, good enough. It said pretty much the same thing here. Well, who got servant?
I got servant.
And what's
It
servant?
says an agricultural laborer bound under the feudal system to work on their lord's estate.
There you go. Now what about overlords? Look up overlords.
I got something on feudalism.
Go ahead.
It says the dominant social system in medieval Europe in which the nobility held lands from the crown in exchange for military service, and vassals were in turn tenants of the nobles, while peasants, it says in quotes, serfs, were obligated to live on their lord's land and give them homage.
And the same thing is happening now. They just changed the names. What did Biden say when he campaigned for president? He said, "I'm not going to raise taxes on anybody except if you're making $400,000 a year." So everybody said, "That's good," and he did. He kept that promise. But did he raise taxes on everybody? Did he raise taxes on everybody? How did he raise taxes on everybody? Come on now.
Inflation.
Oh man. That's a hidden tax. So people, if they would have said, if Biden would have said, we're just going to raise tax, but you said you're not going to raise taxes. I make less than 400. So what they did was they did inflation, which is around the back doorway of taxing their asses, because even economists don't understand inflation and hyper. They don't understand it. I'm talking about professors. I can guarantee you, I talk to these professors of economics, they really don't understand it, because all they do is regurgitate. That's my favorite word now, regurgitate, right? That's all these professors do. When you look up the word inflation, look up the word inflation in Google, and then look up the word hyperinflation.
I got overlord for you real quick.
Forget about overlord. Go ahead.
The definition of the word inflation, it means is the rate of increase in prices over a given period of time. Inflation is typically a broad measure such as the overall increase in prices or the increase in the cost of living in the country.
But they don't tell you the why, so they're getting a bullshit answer. Now look up hyperinflation. And while he's looking it up, what does inflation mean? Give it to me in street vernacular.
Paying the value of the currency. Paying the value of the currency.
Go into it more. Explain it.
So when the value of the currency depreciates, everything else becomes expensive to buy.
So
With
how
that
does,
currency.
how does the value of everything depreciate? How's the money? Why is it that we got to pay more money?
Because they expand the money supply in the economy. They keep printing money, so the more money they keep printing.
Thank you. Y'all got that?
Yeah.
So why didn't the Google say that? Because they set up to keep you stupid.
Because you gotta read Modern Money Mechanics. It'll break it down.
Modern money mechanics.
If you type in inflation, they give you this crazy definition. But if you type in inflation old definition, it'll tell you what the brother just said, an increase in the money
Go and
supply.
look it up. Look it up.
I did.
Everybody look it up.
Yes.
Go ahead.
When you type in inflation,
Hold on, go ahead.
when you type in inflation old definition, it says old economists define inflation as an artificial increase of the money supply within an economy.
Well, that's inflation. But guess what? They give it to stupid people. Oh, that's what it means. So it has nothing to do. He didn't raise taxes. Yes, he did raise taxes in a roundabout way. So what's the meaning of the word hyperinflation? Look up hyperinflation.
It says monetary inflation occurring at a very high rate.
They really don't explain it. We understand. That means they're pumping out more dollars. So the prices actually go up? No. The value of money goes down. All right?
And then it went into details. I said, what is the exact definition of hyperinflation? It says hyperinflation is generally defined as price increases of 50% or more per month, but in the worst known cases, case prices have doubled in days or hours. Hyperinflation happens only when people lose all confidence in the government and its institutions, usually in the aftermath of political or economic upheaval.
This whole system that they have with the hyperinflation and creating money out of thin air goes back to the ancient Babylonian money magic system. But the whole foundation, the whole beliefs, everything Esau has goes back to ancient civilizations, mainly the Babylonian civilization. Now they adapted their currency status, whereas they create money out of thin air. That's what the Babylonians was doing. They were stealing from the people and creating money out of thin air, and it was called the Babylonian money magic system, because it was money created out of thin air. That's what's called money magic, because it was created out of thin air. It was not backed by anything. And that's what the American government is doing to this day with the dollar. You know?
And people don't understand it. The only ones who understand it is us. We understand it.
Right.
Go
We're not
ahead,
ignorant
Now we're
of,
going to go back to Revelation.
not ignorant of Satan's device.
Not ignorant of Satan's devices.
Like I was you talking about the word inflation. Like if you go look up the word inflation in the etymology, it means like to blow into, like to inflate. When you think of the word inflation, you think of inflammation. Both of them deal with an increase or a swelling of something. So it's related to each other.
If somebody has a thing, like they have a boat, and they got $1 million in it, right? In an inflationary period, you still got the $1 million. You can count $1 million, whatever. But then your buying power is half of that. But people don't know it. So the government is set up to, what does the word government mean?
Control mind.
Right, government means to control. The captain of the ship is also the government. He controls the ship, right?
Yep.
Met means what? Mind. So what does it mean? Government means mind control. Look it up. Look it up, somebody. Google it. Government meaning. And see if they tell the truth. If I put in a suit and tie and went to university, you think I'm a top economist, man.
Yeah, but you got to have them shoulder pads.
I got to have the shoulder pads, of course. Got to have the shoulder pads.
You seen them blazers with the shoulder pads?
About politics, government.
I want the word government.
Government.
Go ahead.
It's from Google, government, and it has selections, just like politics. It says the government body of a nation, state, or community, the system by which a nation, state, or community is governed.
Go ahead.
It says right here, it says a system of social control under which the right to make laws and the right to enforce them is vested in a particular group in society.
That's a good one, but they're using a lot of big words. Go ahead.
The etymology of the word govern means to steer. To be
Right,
at the,
which is control.
Control.
But what does the mint part mean?
they're not separating the men.
They
They're
gotta
just giving me
govern.
govern.
Govern means
Yeah.
to steer.
Yeah.
Mint means mind.
Yeah.
Control of mind. Mind control.
Right.
Government means mind control.
I got it right here. This is from medium.com. Government means to control the mind.
Ooh.
It said the word government actually means mind control. It is etymologically originated from the ancient Latin language. It splits into two words. Governare meaning to control, and mens or mentis meaning mind. So government means to control the mind.
Mind control. I'm your government. I'm the president. This is the government. The government, we looking out for you. No, the government is looking to control your mind.
I mean, control your mind.
Control your mind.
Esau want big government.
That's why you got to
New
go
World
on the root words. I always speak about root words, right?
Yeah.
I always go into the root words. See, Nate and them say, well, you guys are making the doctrine out of the Hebrew and the Greek. Well, stupid asses, you're supposed to make the Hebrew and the Greek part of the doctrine. When you go to the commentary of the Bible, those Edomite Christian scholars, when you read it, they tell you this from the Hebrew word meaning this, that's from the Greek word meaning that. When they speak about a place in the Bible, they show you the place on the map. We ain't fucking Christians, man. We ain't Baptists.
Right.
You know? Get me mad, bro. Bring that out, and then you continue to break down.
I got an etymology online that says late 14th.
See, what we're going into, Nate, that you're doing your class, you're trying to be Mr. Professor of the Year. We over you, brother. We know more than you. If you can't get the mark of the beast, then you're a kindergarten. You're a little guy. So slow. Come on, bring it out. Let's go. Let's move.
It says act of governing or ruling in 1550s system by which a thing is governed, especially a state, from old French government, control, direction, administration, modern French government, from governor to steer, be at the helm of, govern, rule, command, direct, from Latin governare, to direct, rule, guide, govern, originally to steer to pilot, meaning governing power in a given place is from.
And the meant is mind control. Mind control. Somebody told me that, you just made that up. We read out of Esau's books.
You read it.
But you got to know how to decipher things, So let's go back to Revelation.
Navigate.
This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy.
Yeah, the word blasphemy means to speak evil of the Most High, profane speaking. We know that Esau Edom, he spoke profane speaking against the Most High by claiming that he is the Most High. And we go into the
if you call the Most High other than his true name, you're blaspheming. If you call him Christ, Jesus, Jehovah, God, that's why we say, we'll say the name Yahushua, who is ignorantly known as Christ. We qualify everything. We don't be saying Most High Christ. When we do the close salute, we ain't saying no Most High Christ bless. If I tell you to do that, please don't come back. Do your own thing. Come on.
This is the word for blasphemy. In a Merriam-Webster dictionary, it means the act of insulting or showing contempt or lack of reverence for the Most High. It says the act of claiming the attributes of a deity.
So Esau Edom, he claimed the attributes of Yahweh Shem Yahushua by saying that the Israelites are everything but, so-called black. He destroyed the images of us, the judges, and he put up images of so-called white people, which is iconoclasm. He destroyed our images and portrayed the Israelites to be white.
This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 2. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard.
Now this leopard is the beginning of Esau Edom rulership. The leopard is symbolic to the Greeks. that notable horn in Daniel's 8th chapter is Alexander the Great. And when you go into the word leopard, it's symbolic to like swiftness. And when Esau came into power, you know, he took over nations in a fast, timely fashion. And also, if you go into history, you got like his 4 generals like Seleucid. They wore like leopard helmets and leopard skin around their neck.
I got a quick piece up. This is First Maccabees.
If you go to the Museum of Natural History, to the Middle Eastern section, I don't know if it's still up there, there's a bust of Alexander. He has a leopard, took a leopard, chopped the head off, dug it all out, made it into a hat and wore it. So if you want to take a trip down there with your girl, you'll find it, you know? So they know that, historians know that one of the animalistic signs that Alexander went by is a leopard. He was also known as the goat. All right? Come on.
This is First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 1. It reads, it says, and it happened after that, Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the
I'm going to ask
Persians.
y'all a question. I know y'all don't got the answer. Y'all got the answer, y'all good. What is Chittim, the land of Chittim, being called today? Oh, shit.
It's in hand.
Did you hear that?
Who said it?
Good. You think IUIC can answer that question? I don't think so. Come on, let's go. Good.
It says, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians, and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece, and made many wars and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth.
So when Alexander the Great came to power, he was very dominant. You know, he had great power. And as we read earlier, you know, leopard symbolic to swiftness. So he took over in a quick, timely fashion.
Tell me a little bit about Alexander the Great. How smart was he? How knowledgeable was he? What did he know? What didn't he know? How did he treat the Israelites? How did he treat the other nations?
He was told that he was all spoken about in the Bible. So he had favor in this.
Okay, he had, but there was something that made him believe. What happened? He had a dream. And who did he see in the dream? He saw the priest. He saw the head priest, and he saw the priest behind him, all in white. And then they said, the head priest said, you saw that because you were this guy in the scriptures. He said, you were the guy in Daniel 7 and Daniel 8. So he knew he was the chosen God. And by the way, they knew that there was a movie put out in the 60s on Alexander, which was a great movie. The part when they fought against the Persians, they really got Persian Elamite actors to play them. Right, that's the one I'm talking about. Yep. And I showed it in the school. We used to have the school before it was raining.
Yep.
I would show the movie, right?
Wednesday.
So one time I showed it. No, that was on the Saturday when it was raining.
Oh, okay, right.
So Ariel came in, right? And he said, what's that? Because Ariel told me about the movie, right? So I said, I watched the movie. I said, show the brother. Ariel came in and said, what y'all watching? Alexander the Greek? Who told y'all to watch that? Tahar? I remember it like it was, and he sat down and watched the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
So in the movie, the actors that portrayed the Persian and Medes were actually Elamites. So they know the history. What else? There was a couple of things. In the movie, they knew that Alexander, out of Philip of Macedonia's line, was going to come out a great leader. And his father wanted to be that guy, but there was, I think it was crows or something that landed, whatever roof that they landed on, the guy was going to be there. So when Philip of Macedonia saw I believe it was crows, if you go into history, seagulls, crows, whatever, they landed on Alexander's house when he was being born, and the father knew this is the guy. This is the guy. I'm not the guy. I wanted to be the guy.
Yeah.
He knew he wanted to be that guy. He wanted to be Alexander.
Right.
And he found out that was the guy, and he kind of hated his son.
Yep.
And he hated his mother.
Fine.
When you go into the history. So Esau knows, man. Anything that we go into the ancient world, when we say the Moabites and this, Esau knows that they're the Moabites. Come on, let's go.
I'm gonna jump to verse 7.
Well, the Bible said there's no secret they can hide from him.
That's right.
So they know.
Esau knows everything. Everything that you know, Esau tells you about.
They're our brother, but our wicked brother.
That's
So
right.
they're the
That's
closest to us.
Right. That's right.
I'm gonna jump to verse 7. It reads, so Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. You know, just going into how, you know, fast he conquered. He conquered in 12 years. All right, going back to Revelation.
What did he do before he died? Or when he conquered him? He cried.
Yeah, he wept.
He cried. He wept.
Because there
Why?
was no more worlds to conquer.
Where'd you get that from, that movie?
Yeah, right. Die hard. Could you do the accent?
True statement.
Hey, could you do the accent? Alexander wept.
Yeah, my man.
Yeah.
And he got sick. And why did he get sick? Because the Most High used him for what he uses him.
Right.
He said, I'm going to make you take over the whole known world.
his job.
Then I'm going to put a sickness on you.
That's it.
And he tried to heal himself, but he couldn't. Why? Because the Most High laid it on him, man. He said, your job is to take over the whole known world.
Yep.
So I can take you out and have your 4 generals take your place.
And spread all kind of wickedness in the world.
But
Oh, hell yeah, man.
Exactly what happened.
Proverbs 29 and 16 opens hand in hand with First Maccabees 1. I think it's around
Yep.
7.
Wicked.
That's why they took. That's the reason why they took out the Maccabees. Because it names. You know.
Yeah.
It named Philip of Macedonia. It names Alexander, Antiochus Epiphanes. You know. Come on.
All right, going back to Revelation 13, it reads, verse 2, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear.
Now the bear is symbolic to Russia, and Russia's national symbol is a bear, and the feet represents the end, and that's the end of Esau Edom rulership, and Russia is going to play a big part in the downfall of its society.
Beautiful.
It's happening right now.
Yeah, so how the hell?
It's happening now. Y'all know about Nigeria, right? Now they already got French troops right now, but they're leaving it out in news.
How the hell can Russia be one of the 7? When Russia is the one the Lord is going to use to be.
You have the Wagner group out there helping the Nigerians. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, that's a Russian. That's a Russian.
The
The French are fighting against the Russians.
Yeah, because
That's that beast.
Nate regurgitating says that Russia is one of the 7.
No, he's not one of the
How the hell can Russia
He's
be
not
one of the 7 when the Lord is going to use
You got that from the 7.
regurgitation?
Yep, regurgitation. Come on, let's
And
go.
also the book of Ezekiel 38 chapter speaks about how Russia is going
There
to
you
be a
go.
leader to the other nations and be a
Right.
a god, a leader, you know, they're going to give them like resources for their military might,
Yep.
you know, give them different weapons and things of that nature.
Russia that's they suspended all the debt that the African nations owe them, all the grants, everything. They suspended everything. You don't owe us nothing. We got a clean slate, and we're going to give you military cooperation. We're going to train your soldiers. We're going to do this. We're going to do that.
Russians booming right now.
Yeah.
Because some European and EU nations, they're buying behind the Americans' back. That's why ultimately they're going to shoot missiles on America.
Right.
Because they're buying that oil from Russia.
Yeah, they ain't listening to America no more.
Putin can't stand Russia. America. Putin can't stand America.
Come on.
Germany is suffering.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 2. It reads, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet was the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion.
Now the mouth of the lion represents Britain, which is the mother of America. You know, America came out of Great Britain.
It reads, and the dragon gave him his power.
Yeah, the dragon represents the ancient Roman Empire. And the dragon gave the beast his power by the beast following the philosophies, the culture, the art of ancient Rome.
Right. It reads, and his seat and great authority.
Yep, and the Roman Empire, they had great power. The book of Daniel 7th chapter speaks about he had that great iron teeth. And you know, iron is a strong metal. And that's how he used the iron to devour the nations.
That's right. Verse 3, and I saw one of his heads as they were wounded to death.
Yeah, in the ancient Roman Empire, they came out of power. And that led into the Byzantine Empire, which was ran by Israelites. To name some few kings, you had Septimius Severus. You also had Constantine the Great. These are Israelite
What
kings.
about
You gotta go. Yeah, you gotta go before
yeah.
that. You gotta go back before that.
Come on now. When you've been secret disciple of IUIC, watching they said.
Nah.
That's what they said. The first Israelite king, Caesar was Septimius and Severus in 193.
Come on now. Come on.
No, it was way before that. Who's the first Israelite that ruled, that sat on the throne of the Roman Empire? Nerva. Nerva. All right? When did Nerva come on the scene?
92 AD, somewhere around
96 AD.
That was all 4 years.
Then you had the kings from that point on was all Jakes.
5 good
It was
emperors,
all
right?
Jakes. The 5 good emperors.
Right.
You know? Let's throw it up in there, brother. So you going way, we're talking about the first Jake. That's what second Ezra 11 and second Ezra 11 and second Ezra 12 is all about. The 12 winged feathers on the body of the eagle was the Edomite rulership from Julius to Domitian,
right.
and then Jake took over.
Right.
So when you read it, like Bishop Nathan read it, because he doesn't know the breakdown. He doesn't know the breakdown. Because Ariana never taught him, and Ariana never taught him. Why you think Ariana never taught him? Because Ariana didn't know. The Spirit wouldn't work with Ariana to break that down. He tried to break it down, he broke it down wrong. They both say it's talking about Rome, but it's talking about America. Has nothing to do with America. Second Ezra 11 and second Ezra 12, and from the rulership of Julius Caesar to Domitian Caesar, and that's the end of them books. All right? That's what it's talking about. So the first Jake that ruled was a man by the name of Nerva, 96 to 98 AD.
Right.
It's Revelation chapter 13, verse 3. And I saw one of his heads as they were wounded to death.
As we mentioned, this is when Esau fell out of power during the ancient Roman Empire, and the Dark Ages came about, and we ruled for about 1,000 years.
I'm sorry, brother, I got a question. What is the image?
The image is the New World Order.
Right, based upon what?
Ancient, like Greece.
The New World Order is based upon what? The Roman Empire,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So Bishop Nate says the image is a picture of Caesar Borgia. Now go, I believe go to the 13 books. I think it's around the 13, 14 books.
Or 15, verse 15. The image of the beast.
50. That's what I want.
This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast,
He's saying it's Caesar Borgia. Come on.
that the image of the beast shall both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
You gotta go up to 13.
God. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they shall make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live.
Read that verse again.
Con, this is Revelation chapter 13, verse 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image. I'm going to read it again. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live.
How do we know the image of the beast is not the picture of Caesar Borgia? Because it had a wound by a sword and did live. When did Caesar Borgia have get killed and come back to life? So that kills what General Nathaniel Alaga says. And he'll still teach it. He watches our videos. And his pride won't allow him to change it, because he would have to admit that my teachers are GMS. I'm a secret disciple of the men of GMS.
He ain't gonna never admit that shit.
He ain't gonna never admit that shit. Well, he did admit it with Cornelius. We got kicked out because of Cornelius thing. Go ahead.
Part of the image that this system opposes that they have a Capitol Hill, they have a Senate House, which goes back to the ancient Roman Empire, and look at the infrastructure of America. When you go to Washington, D.C., downtown Washington, D.C., also certain infrastructures when you go to Midtown Manhattan, you know?
Oh, yeah.
They have the infrastructure of the Roman Empire.
Up at Yale.
The pillars, and the main thing that
Wall Street.
Wall Street, when you go back to
Roman pillars.
and then they also have Apis the bull, which goes back to ancient Egypt. But but when you go into the meat of it, the ancient Roman Empire, they had a Senate House, they had something called Capitol Hill, And what do America have today?
Capitol Hill was in Washington D.C. The Romans had Capitol Line here.
Capitol Line. Also, you have the Democrats and the Republicans, which back then was called the plebeians and the patricians. So same thing, this different name reincarnated. Obviously, that's how we know that's the image of the beast, which is the fourth beast is the ancient Roman Empire. So that's the image.
And those stadiums represent the Colosseum.
Stadiums.
Also the stadiums, also the gladiatorial games like NFL football,
bread and circus,
bread and circus, which is also boxing, gladiatorial games. So that goes back to bread and circus. But nowadays they call it, instead of bread and circus, they call it welfare and entertainment.
That's true. That's true.
Damn, that's bad.
Give the man here.
That's bad.
Come on.
And the Statue of Liberty goes back to Rome as well.
Say again?
The Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty. It was a Roman goddess, Libertas.
More information for you. See, you ain't gonna see us marching down the street.
Yeah, we don't need to do that.
We teaching you, brothers, so you can teach. You know?
I got a question. Didn't the Flavian dynasty create the Colosseum?
Yeah, they wanted to build it. Because they were talking, like they're talking about America now. America's dead. Nobody respects America. That's what they were saying before this guy, the father, Vespasian came. Before that, they had the year of the 4 seasons.
Yeah.
People were saying the Roman Empire is dead, it's dead. So they had to build it back up. So they had what's called a public work. And the public work was the Roman Colosseum, which at that time was called the Flavian Colosseum. I think it was the Flavian Amphitheater. Look it up. Go to the Roman Colosseum, go to the history, and I'll guarantee you it's going to say the original name for it is the Flavian Colosseum. And the reason why they did that was to build Rome back up, because they had the games. Go ahead.
Real quick, this is 1 Maccabees 8, verse 15. It says, "Moreover, they had made for themselves a Senate house, wherein 320 men sat in council daily, consulting always for the people, to the end that they might be well ordered."
I think it's 435 now, right? Okay. Senate men, 435.
Well, the Congress is 435, so the Senate is 100.
Senate's 100, okay.
Yep. Go ahead, read it, brother. Go ahead. Read your stuff
It says, what is the Colosseum original name? The Flavian Amphitheater.
What did I just say? Am I good or what?
It says,
Are you taking notes, General Nathaniel Alaga?
I took something else.
How did you get all this knowledge? I Googled.
The spirit.
And I hear a word, a white man says a word, I Google that shit, man.
Yeah.
Get all the information. I don't go out there and buy a book. I Google that shit. Go ahead, I
Google it. Remember, I did some studies on Nero, proving that he was drunk. So he's a part of that definition too, because it says Domus Aurea was a great palace built under the orders of Nero after the fire of Rome. But even before that, it said Nero was into sports and chariot racing, which he rigged, just like the courtesy. But anyway, he also was big into building development, just like Trump is major building.
Yeah, because he attended some of the UFC, the last UFC he was there.
Yeah.
There was another one, the first one in Madison Square Garden. He was down. He was there. Boxing match with Tyson. He was there. That's it. That's it. That's Nero.
He tried to buy an NFL team back in the day, but they wouldn't let him in.
Yeah, well, he tried to make his own team, his own version of it. It didn't pan out.
And Vince McMahon make his own league at the XFL.
That's it. XFL. Didn't go nowhere.
In the series Billions, the dude Bobby Axelrod, he was trying to own a team like the NFL, and they was like, on this day and age, it's like being knighted in some type of club or whatever. It's like them being knighted. But that's just for the series, right?
Yeah, but they showed you. They're letting you know, brother. You saw puts it out there. Come on, let's go. Back into the Revelation.
Go back to verse 3?
No, go back to where you left off.
All right, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 3. And I saw one of his heads as we were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed.
Yeah, his deadly wound was healed. That's going into the Renaissance era. Renaissance means rebirth. So the Renaissance was going into the revival or the rebirth of ancient Greece and Rome culture.
It says, and all the world wandered after the beast.
Yeah, everyone was admired at Esau's power, him being in rulership. Through his sword, he lived. So people looked up to him and they worshiped him.
Revelation 13 and 4, and they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshiped the beast.
Yep, they worshiped him by following his laws, his order, his culture, his religion, all the different philosophies. People worship him.
Saying, who is like unto the beast?
Yeah, because Esau Edom, he looked at as the Most High. People look at Esau like he's undefeated and he's untouchable.
It reads.
Yeah, he got his image as the Most High, Son of the Most High, the angels.
And our people believe it through his lives.
Still believe it. 2023, they still believe it.
That's because they don't read. The scriptures tell you the color, but people just follow.
They're blinded. Lord got them blinded.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
Isaiah 14, verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou...
You got to explain. You got to break it down.
It says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Yeah, heaven is symbolic for rulership, because this is a prophecy that is yet to come to pass. But the so-called white man, which is Lucifer, the word Lucifer means light bearer. All right, that's why they call themselves the Illuminati. Okay, because they bear the light and wickedness. All right, but the true Lucifer, the true so-called Illuminati is Yahweh Shah and his men, the elect of the nation of Israel. All right, and he's exalted. He's exalted in his kingdom because this is his time to rule. And all these other nations, they follow after the ways of Esau, the so-called white man. It says, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? Yeah, the so-called white man, he's going to be cut down to the ground when Yahweh Shah takes him out of his rulership. All right, and he weakened the nations because he had the nations under his feet. Just to add on to what he was reading about, how the so-called white man is looked at as a god. Okay,
that's it.
I'm gonna read it again. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 4. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him.
Yeah, this is what the people saying. Who is able to make war with the so-called white man, Esau Edom?
Verse 5, and there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things.
Yeah, it was given unto him a mouth speaking great things. Now that mouth is going to America.
And blasphemies and power was given unto him.
Yeah, so power was given unto America. America comes from Great Britain, and they exercise all the lifestyles, the philosophies of ancient Rome. As we mentioned earlier, you know, going to the architect, the buildings. If you go around the court, lower Manhattan, you see all the buildings look like ancient Rome. I work in one of those buildings. You got the pillars, you know, that's going back to Rome.
We follow the Gregorian calendar.
Yeah.
You know, we follow their holidays, things of that nature.
His brother.
This is Revelation 20:2. It says, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent. And this is talking about when the ancient Romans went down, the Edomites. It says he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him. Yep. And this is Revelation 20:2. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. And that's when the Israelites went into rulership, and they were called the ancient Holy Roman Empire, but they wasn't holy. And it says, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, because why they went into the caves, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season.
This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 5. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months.
And that's going to the 350 years when Israelites were in captivity, serving hardcore bondage. And that's when we were spiritually dead, but through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah, we were awakened through our elder Abba Bivens.
Yep.
Which is Elijah the prophet. You know, he brought us back through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah by teaching the knowledge we can understand of the scriptures.
Yeah, fulfillment of Malachi 4 and 5. Somebody had their hand up? Oh.
Speak on that.
There's a book. It's called The Medieval Empire of the Israelites. Going into the history.
It's the Dark Ages. Dark Age. Somebody look up the word Dark Ages. And watch what Esau is going to say.
Oh,
that was a time when nothing was really happening. Yeah, nothing was really happening with them.
I remember that in school, like in 5th grade, there was things like Dark Ages were like, I remember they said there was no innovation. No enlightenment. No enlightenment.
Esau.
Yeah.
Jake was ruling shit. The wars and all that. They were making shit happen, man.
Nope. Well, that's a good
look
book.
At that, look at that, look at that. Put that on screen there, bro.
Let leave it up. So, General Netanyahu can write it down.
Yeah, he's into them books.
Well, this book here, this is used for $100, but original, brand new, they want $1,000 for it. They don't want you to they don't want you to have this history. Because what Jake is going to spend $1,000 on a book?
That's right.
We don't need to buy them books. We already know.
But it's called.
I just confirmed it.
It's called The Medieval Empire of the Israelites. And you go into the book, I open it up, certain parts, you got Jakes with the medieval armor on, going like this, showing their eyes and going like that's where they got that from.
Yeah.
And they had the swords in their hand.
The knights.
The knights had the swords in their hand. And the fight had the swords in their hand, they had the horses, garnets, and some of the horses had pure gold on. Some of the garments had the armor was pure gold, you know. But that was for sure because gold is softer than metal. So you can't really use gold in the battle.
Right, because the metal that they used the most was iron. To make weapons and shields. Gold is just for looks.
But this book is $532 used, paperback, hardcover. They want $1,000 brand new. So they don't want you to have this history. Who going to spend $1,000 on this book?
Yeah, but then a Source magazine is what? How much is a Source magazine?
You got a definition?
Wikipedia says the Dark Ages is a term for the early Middle Ages or occasionally the entire Middle Ages in Western Europe as the fall. Right after the fall of the Western Roman Empire that characterizes it as marked by economic, intellectual, and cultural decline.
Read that again, please.
I got you. Yep. It says the Dark Ages is a term for early Middle Ages or occasionally the entire Middle Ages in Western Europe after the fall of the Western Roman Empire that characterizes it as marked by economic, intellectual, and cultural decline.
Right.
No, it was talking about they wasn't benefiting from it. Yeah. So they said, fuck them niggas. They were running shit. They were prospering. You know, the Moors and all that, man. The Moors gave a lot to the world.
That's right.
So they were saying, now we don't recognize. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this right now. This video right now is an instant classic.
Oh yeah.
And I'm a damn sure put it on my page.
Oh hell yeah.
Put it on your page. This video right here, put it on all your pages, man.
Oh,
this is a classic right here, man.
To back you up,
It's a
Apostle.
classic, brother. Tell me it ain't a classic, brother.
To back up
We
what
ain't
you
even
just
finished yet. We ain't even halfway through.
Yep.
See, we getting deep. We getting deep right about now.
Hey, to back you up,
I'm gonna get you a little bit.
who made no account of his labors. Right. That's why all the years of the Moors to Esau is nothing. The scriptures say who made no account of his labors. Intellectual decline. This is a society that's intellectual.
Esau talks in code.
Yeah.
They say certain things, but you gotta be on that code to understand it, man.
Well, what is this society? Is it not intellectually declined?
Remember the Renaissance man we ran into?
Oh yeah, he ran.
Museum,
yeah.
he ran.
Yeah.
I said what does
Yeah.
I think you said iconoclasm means
Yep.
no.
Yep.
And I said, what was the Renaissance all about? And he kind of gave me some bullshit. I said, no, the Renaissance is about taking down black images and putting up white images. And he ran down the street. I said, where you going?
He
I
put
was
his
there.
track shoes
Oh, you
on.
was there. Couple y'all was there. You was there. You was there. He was there. Yeah.
Put his track shoes
on.
on.
From Hawaii, he was there. And we took him to the museum, brother. How do you act? When he saw all the relics, he said, oh shit! Oh, God, oh man, goddamn, oh shit! Okay.
Real quick,
Was that character Michael B. Jordan
like
played?
the term knight, and that kind of blew me away. The term knight really referred to the knights being dark skinned, you know, and that was like right in front of your face, you know, like damn.
That's where they get the phrase "God bless you," because during the Black Death, the 2/3 of the population was dying.
Yep.
So the first symptom was consistent sneezing. So I believe it was Pope Gregory the
When you got that rash around your neck, ring around the rosy.
Ring around the roses. That's what the song goes.
Pocket full of posts.
Pope Gregory the First, he issued out a decree to put a blessing over the people, because once they seen the symptoms of you sneezing, they assumed you was gonna die.
God
So
bless
he
you.
said, put a blessing over the people. So now when people sneeze, you say, God bless you.
Right. How the hell is Esau? He don't believe in
They
it.
say,
Yeah. Yeah.
No, God bless you.
They showed that on
And Jake's are the original Germans. A lot of them Germans, as you see, a lot of them is Jake. There was a point where Jake was just running Germany.
Right.
And when Esau came in, they pushed Jake out. But a lot of them left his seed. Like if you go back to Joe Louis, he fought a German guy that beat him and knocked him out, named Max Miller. I believe he was a Jake.
Right.
When you read the history on this guy, he said, I know how to beat Joe Louis, but I'm not going to tell you. Now, you know who told him how to beat Joe Louis? Jack Johnson. Because Jack Johnson wanted to be a part of that entourage, but he said, you too controversial. So Jack Johnson said, y'all know Jack Johnson, right? Yes. Jack Johnson said, you know, I'm going to go to the other side and tell them all his secrets. Because he was a master analyst in boxing. He said, Joe, every time he throws a jab, his hand go down, just hit him with the overhand right. Keep hitting him with it. He couldn't figure it out. Joe came back and demolished the dude. You heard this scream that no, he hit him with he came up in there and just bam, hit him with this shot, he hit him, and you heard this scream like ah! They took him to the hospital, that moment was all broken up. Bones he's all fucking rib broke, his back broke. After that, Max Mellon became good friends with Joe, and when Joe was down on his luck, guess who was sending him money? Max Mellon. Max Mellon loved Joe. Frank Sinatra loved Joe so much that he was a spokesman for Pat Blue Ribbon Bear, and they would pay him. They would pay Frank Sinatra, and Sinatra said, "Don't even give me, just send it right to Joe." So there was a lot of Edomites that admired Joe. Right?
Frank Sinatra was a Jake, I think.
Frank Sinatra was a Jake. He was a Jake. Yep.
Frank Sinatra, because he was Sicilian.
Mafia's number niggas.
He was Sicilian.
Jake.
And this dude Carlo Gambino was his godfather.
Makes sense. That's what the movie Godfather
was about. Yeah.
See where he said you can act like a man. That was supposed to be
Gambino.
That was supposed to be Frank Sinatra. Yep.
They're in a picture together, Carlo and Frank.
That word for the dude tribe you mentioned, they mentioned that in the movie Mannequin 2. You know, the mannequin supposed to be from the medieval times, and the dude said the dude sneezed
And he said, bless you something, and then she was like Gesundheit. That's what I remember that word.
Bless you. God bless you in God bless you in German. Let's get back into the breakdown, man. You want to go home and eat?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 5. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth and blasphemy against the Most High, to blaspheme his name.
Yep, he blasphemed his name by saying the Most High name is God.
Catholic
Jehovah,
Church. Catholic Church. Yeah.
All these religions.
And his tabernacle.
Single-handedly, the Catholic Church.
Yeah. And his tabernacle.
His tabernacle is talking about Israel.
And them that dwell in heaven.
Which are the angels. That's why the book of Job 9:24, he covered the faces of the judges thereof through iconoclasm by destroying our images and portraying the Most High to be so-called white.
Yeah, the brother just read it. He called it a period of intellectual decline, putting us down.
Verse 7, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints.
Yep, it was given unto him to make war with the saints. Because the book of Daniel talk about how Esau would wear out the saints through hardcore slavery. And this great kingdom that we live in, it was built off the blood, sweat, and tears of the Israelites.
And to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations.
Yep, because the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. Esau, Edom, he is the ruler of the earth today. But it's temporal, because the triumphant of the wicked is short, it's for a moment. That's right. And this is the last heathen rulership. You know, like the book of Daniel speaks about how Nebuchadnezzar had that dream about the statue, and we're currently at the part iron and the part clay. And that backs up with the end. Remember how we read about the bear? So that all ties in. That shows that we're in the end of Esau's rulership.
Yeah, the toes of that image. Yep. Then the rock came and destroyed the whole image. Yes, sir.
This is verse 8. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him.
Yep, all shall worship him by following his orders and his culture, his
New World Order.
New World Order.
They're going to take that chip.
Yep, yes, sir.
Whose names are not written in the book of life.
And that's going to 2/3 of the nation of Israel, because they're going to bow down to Esau, as the apostle said, and take his chip, which is the microchip, the mark of the beast. That's right. And there's consequences if you take that. Read about that in the next chapter. You're going to be destroyed in the presence of the Lamb.
And these other camps that are teaching contrary to what we're teaching,
oh man,
they're
lost.
going to be ashamed of their thing. They actually set up them chipping stations. Their people are going to run at them for answers. They ain't going to have no answers. They got two answers. Go ahead and take it, meaning they sold out, or they got to admit that GMS was right. Everybody going to be like, where's the GMS camp at?
Beautiful, brother, beautiful.
Right. It reads, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. Verse 9, if any man have an ear, let him hear.
Yeah, spiritual ear. You know, only the elect is going to hear the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You know, they're going to understand the mysteries of the kingdom. So it's saying for everybody, you know, as we were standing here, you see Israelites walking past, you're not considering what's being said. That's right.
Verse 10, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
All the heathen nations starting with Esau, Edom, so-called white man. We was all in his heathen's hand. And Jeremiah talks about all thy adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity.
Nice, nice.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
So it says, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. And we know that Esau, Edom, he was blessed with the sword in the book of Genesis 27 chapter. He was blessed with the fatness of the earth, the dew of heaven, and he lived through his sword.
Everybody come up with the river, the Montgomery, Alabama, the river thing. All these Jakes, even them Uncle Toms were happy that Jakes beat the white. All them Uncle Toms are talking good about the white man. They all talking good about Jake. No, I'm not a violent person, but what Jake did, even them women, man, all them Jakes certain Jakes ain't saying nothing because they really want Esau to get his ass whooped.
It reads,
Oh, read that part again with the sword.
Con. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 10. He
Oh,
that
by the way, guess who invented that the folding chair? What's his name? Nathaniel Alexander.
Nathaniel Alexander?
Look it up. Nathaniel Alexander invented the folding chair. And now the joke is this. How's it go with Rosa Parks? They didn't want to give up the seat, but now Jake is giving Esau the seat.
Yeah. They had this
That's a good
pounded him on the head, and he was trying to fight him. He was just catching, pounding him. Wow!
And he was pounding the Edomite woman on the head.
Yeah.
He pounded the Edomite 2 times, and the Edomite woman laying down, he pounded him on the head.
Yeah, that's because.
Pounded her on the head.
Yeah, you have one Jake jump into the water instead of swimming to go, go into the battle.
That's because Jake's about to take the power seat.
Let's go.
Come on, precept.
I
This
guess
is
that was
Zechariah
that
9 and 13. When I have bent Judah for me, filled the bow with Ephraim, and raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and made thee as a sword of a mighty man. That's what's getting ready to happen
It's
soon.
that time now.
Con. Read it again.
Yeah, that guy who swam across, he was a mighty man. See how he was? I don't think a shark could move that fast, man. That dude was cutting that water, man.
Imagine getting that power.
That's a lot real quick that they showed a still of that dude swimming, like coming out the water, and it was a caption saying, if you ain't riding like this, we ain't homies. That shit was funny. So
The one chick, she said Mark Spitz couldn't go to. No, what's that guy?
Mark Spitz.
Yeah, but what's the other guy? The newer guy. Michael Phelps. She said Michael Phelps couldn't move that.
He was swimming.
Yeah, man. He was cutting that water, man.
He was only 16.
All of y'all know how to swim.
Yeah, I know.
You know how to swim? You gotta learn. Jake, Jake knows Benjamin swim, Levi swim, but Jake, y'all gotta learn how to swim. Get y'all wind up in the water.
Thinks you got to whip ass.
I was swimming since I was learning how to swim when I was a kid.
Rockaway, I don't get in the water. A lot of them lifeguards out there now because the cars are drowning. You out there from Rockaway, you can. I'm pretty sure that brother would know too.
They're getting bit by sharks.
Yeah. They got a ban. You can't go in the water.
Come on, let's go.
Con. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Now wait a minute. Psalm 149. It says to bind their kings. They're going to carry what? A sword. That the high praises be in their mouth and a sword in their hand. The two-edged sword. Yeah, there you go.
It reads, "Here is the patience and the faith of the saints."
Saints are the Israelites. You know, we're patiently waiting until our Lord Yahweh Shah Mashiach avenge us, bring judgment upon the heathen nations for what they have done to us.
We're literally going to carry a sword in the kingdom. Literally. And I ain't no, well, that's spiritual. No.
Our sword, like Esau's sword, is one-sided, sharp. Our sword is two-sided.
Yeah.
So you swing this way, you cut. You swing that way, you cut.
High priest Ariah. You're cutting on the left and you're cutting on the right.
The sword is spiritual.
Oh, y'all,
you feel
you
it.
feel it? Y'all would have loved High Priest Ariah.
Ariah said that. He said the sword is spiritual because when you cut the cracker's head, you feel it.
Man, when that spirit hit him on 44th and Broad, he used to speak on both sides of the street. People were like mesmerized because he had that voice plus, the spirit. Yeah, man.
Say, come on now.
This is Revelation.
We're trying to get up out of here. We're trying to eat.
Yeah, we want to eat.
Come on now.
This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 11. "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns."
And 2 horns is going into Democrats and Republicans. As we mentioned, that's the plebeians and the patricians coming back.
Bounce off. Yep. Bounce off. Yep. That's right, bro.
"And he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon."
Yep, he spake as a dragon. Now we go into the word dragon. The Greek word is dracon. That's going into the rigorous, severe laws. And in the near future, Esau Edom, he's going to create.
Well, he already did that with the jab.
Yes,
he made it where he said, "Look, you can't go outside. You can't do." I was still going outside. I was doing my walk back then. I was like, it was 9 o'clock. I saw cops out there. I waved to them. They waved back. But everybody was staying. Man, fuck that bullshit. But this time, that was a trial run.
Trial run.
This time, when they do the mark, they're going to really come down. That's the dragon part. They're going to really come down.
Yeah, we're gonna need that spiritual power from Yahweh Shem. We're gonna need the angels to be with us to protect us.
Esau, he's gonna create laws.
Oh yeah.
So y'all, how many of y'all already died for the truth? Good.
That's powerful faith. Powerful faith.
Because the ones of you that die, you're gonna rise up before the ones of us that are living.
God.
And when you die, you're gonna meet Mo, Abba. You're gonna know a whole lot of things.
Elder High Priest.
You ain't gonna want to come back. And most are gonna make you come back so you can get delivered. So the next time you come back from the dead, you're gonna get delivered first. You'll come out of the graves, man.
That's why the Thessalonians says that the dead in Yahushua shall rise first. People that died in faith, they're gonna be the first one in the chariots.
Then he said, "Wherefore comfort one another with these words."
There's still hope, even if we die. That's why the scripture says.
Well, we ain't living.
Yeah.
This ain't no fucking life, man. Got trannies all around and
That's why it says, "Be faithful unto death, and you will receive eternal life." Right.
You get with a woman, you don't know if it was a man. What kind of life is that? You know? It's disgusting, like you said. You got it, bro.
And let me say this to you brothers that got women that are not, none of them are believers. Because even if they say they believe, when it's time to take that chip and they can't eat nothing, they're gonna take the damn chip. So a lot of y'all get ready for that, man.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? If your woman take a chip, then fuck her. Fuck that bitch, man.
That's right. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 12. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast.
Yeah, so the revived Roman Empire exercised, meaning they performed all the ways of ancient Rome.
It reads, and he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast.
Yeah, and through his deceit, through his laws, his order, everyone serving Esau Edom.
I got a question. Washington, D.C., right? Also known as the DMV. Washington, D.C. is part Delaware, part Maryland, and part Virginia, right? It's 10 square miles. 10 square. Before Washington, D.C. was Washington, D.C., what was it? No, it was what was not a name of something. Nope. I read that before. It was known as marshes. You know what marshes are, right? Like land with water on it, marshes. So there was nothing there. It was like no man's land, right? So what they did was, before they built up DC, when you buy land, you buy it by lot, right? So you number the lot. Lot number 1, lot number 2, so forth. What lot was DC built on? What number lot was DC built on? What? 666. Check it out. They used, if you go to Google, they're going to tell you. But years ago, I actually had a picture on the web of the actual map. But I don't think you can find it like that. Now they got the lots, right, of an old map before DC was, built upon. You got a lot number 665, lot number 667, and where it says lot number 666, it's not even there. It's just empty. But it gives you the numbers of all the lots except that one. So common sense tell you that's got to be lot number 666. Now when you look down on DC, what do you see?
An owl. A picture of an owl.
There you go. There you go.
And the Capitol building.
The owl is in the belly.
Yep, Capitol buildings in the belly.
Capitol building. Yep.
Belly of the beast.
Come on.
This is I'm gonna read it again. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 12. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Verse 13. and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth.
And that's going into the missiles that was created through Julius Robert Oppenheimer. He was that Isaiah 14:6. He created the smith that blew up the coals in the fire. 54:16. It's like it.
You got the Oppenheimer movie.
Yeah,
plug that.
It was four of us. It was three of us. It was the four horsemen: Jack Parsons, Robert Oppenheimer, and Werner von Braun, and I think it was this dude Einstein.
Yep, Einstein. Yep, and he's known as the
It's 3 hours long.
Everybody that sees the movie, they gave it excellent reviews.
Right.
It's 3 hours long.
I gotta see it. I'm not gonna go to theater because I would not be caught in a black dark room with a bunch of demons. I'm serious, man. I can't. Hey, I'm thankful that the jab thing. I'm thinking about, I said, man, why did I used to go to the fucking dark room with fucking strangers in it, man? I said, from there, I don't go to movies no more.
Correct me if I'm wrong. The first major aerial war was World War I. With airplanes shooting down on. Yeah. Okay, I wanted to make it.
Yeah, that's Revelation 9. Revelation 9. Yep.
I agree.
So come on, let's go. Let's go.
Con.
Trying to eat.
It says he caused a fire come down from heaven. That's when Little Boy and Fat Man hit Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and that made the world terrified of Esau Edom.
It reads that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth.
Yep, which is Little Boy, Fat Man.
In the sight of men.
In the sight of men.
Right. Verse 14, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles.
Yeah, so Esau Edom, he deceived the earth by his miracles, by his technology. And in the near future, he's going to deceive the earth by saying that if you take the mark of the beast, you can live forever, you can have powers, it'll cure your diseases, your ailments, and people are going to get swindled by that.
Mm-hmm. It reads,
yeah, he's trying to combine man and machine together. Man's a Frankenstein. Transhuman, yeah. That's why you notice all the songs that sound like robots. Yeah. With that auto-tune shit. Yeah, man. They weren't singing like that back in the 80s, 70s. You know?
Verse 14, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast.
So the image is going to the New World Order. Absolutely. This is when Esau Edom, when it takes full control upon all the citizens by having them receive the charagma, but the elect, Lord willing, with those men, they're not going to take it.
Why is there a Latin inscription on that New World Order? It goes back to Rome.
Yep, it's Latin by Rome. Mm-hmm. It says, which had the wound by a sword and did live. Verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast.
Ancient Roman Empire had power to give life to the image of the beast through them following, exercising the ancient Rome customs, the culture, the laws. Right?
It reads that the image of the beast shall both speak.
It says shall both speak. That's going to the draconian laws. So Esau Edom, he's going to create laws to where it's going to go into it.
It says, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
So there's going to be laws created in the near future to where if you don't receive the mark of the beast, which is the charagma, the RFID chip, any microchip, you're going to be put to death.
And that's talking about some of us, man, yep. Like we said earlier.
Yep. That's why some of us are going to be martyrs for Yahushua. We're going to be beheaded.
How that scripture go, arm yourselves likewise with the sufferings of Yahushua. Yep. So we meditate on that daily. Yep. We may have to sacrifice ourselves for this cause, That's how serious it is. You got these Israelites out there, they don't know how serious this thing is. They're playing games, man. They're taking the word, rapping with it, and making money and all. That's not what this is about. They're going to learn, though.
Verse 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor.
Yeah, so Esau, he's going to require all citizens, small, great, no matter your status, rich and poor. If you're locked up, if you're on the street, he's going to require you to do this.
It reads, free and bond to receive a mark in the right hand or in their foreheads.
As the apostle mentioned, in order to understand the scriptures, you got to go into the origin of the words, the Hebrew and the Greek. Now, the Hebrew word, the Greek word for mark is charagma, which means imprinted mark, things sculptured, graven image. That's going to be the chip. And when you go into the root word of charagma is charax, which is a metal post. And that metal post is going to be the syringe where they, insert the chip in you. That's right. And then when you go into the root word of charax, it's grapho, which means to write. So all the records, your information, your currency is going to be on the chip. That's right.
Aaron Russo said that to Alex Jones. He said, if you piss off the elites, they can turn off your chip, and then you can't buy nothing. You can't partake in commerce. Aaron Russo said it, man, to Alex Jones. And for those of you type in Aaron Russo, Mark of the Beast, he goes into it.
Verse 17.
Yeah, this brother got it.
Ask any doctor, a needle puncture is called a clean cut. Any doctor or surgeon, they'll tell you.
Needle puncture is called a clean cut.
I'm going to read it one more time. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond.
Number six, that's where you get the word sex from. That your rod is number 6 part of your body. 1, 2, 3. That's number 6. And with the number 6 also goes into scissors. Scissors cut 6 cuts. So the 666, they gotta cut into. That's the only way you can get it. They gotta cut into.
It reads, free and bond. I'm gonna read it again, it's a lot. Revelations 13 and 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
This is the microchip, any microchip.
Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark.
So if you don't receive if you don't take the charagma, you're not going to be able to participate with society. You're not going to be able to buy. You're not going to be able to sell. But 2/3 of the nation of Israel, they don't fear Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Therefore, they're going to bow down to Esau and receive his mark. But Isaiah 59 chapter talks about how the little servants are going to eat. So we got to keep the faith and endure and trust in the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Isaiah 59, 65. 65.
I know that by heart.
Yeah, come on.
This is Revelation 13 and 17. It reads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Verse 18.
The number is going to that universal product code, 12 digits. Basically, you're going to be a number if you receive the mark.
Verse 18. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
Now we're going to the Greek word for 666. That's going to kasa stigma. Now when you go into the etymology of the word stigma, it means to puncture. So that's showing you that this mark that's written of in the book of Revelation 13 and 16 is a physical mark. It's not spiritual. It's not sin. It's an actual, literal thing that's going to happen, where Esau Edom is going to tempt the entire world to receive his mark.
Yeah, that's it. That was great.
Oh, that was, yeah.
And if you look at this.
Watch the comments on this video right here. It's automatic. I put it on my page, the bars are already on your page.
Yep.
Y'all put that out. This is a classic right here. There's a lot of information.
And if you look at this, these are 3 companies that produce the RFID chip, and it's called XE Wireless. You see it has the Greek character for Psi. Xmark, it got the Greek character for Chi. And Somark, it starts with an S, that's stigma. Chi, Psi, stigma. So that's not a coincidence. These are each companies that produce the RFID chip, and the first character of each is Chi, Psi, stigma.
Now they're going to take the video down. They're going to take the video down right now. I know that this is a take it down. How much more
Cleaner.
you need? What we saying is it true? Huh? Right.
Pride, man.
You sold out. Right. That's the one right there, man. I didn't even know that.
Con.
I don't know everything. I know a lot of things. I don't know everything. But anyway, we're going to close up. We're going to salute you brothers out. Let's do this quick, right? So we can eat.
Yeah. That was broken in the morning. I want to eat.
You call it, we out of here.
Call your Shadu, Ahmadiyya, Barak. Got the Matah, dismissed.
Sure.
Right, shalom, brother. Never stop.